President Trump calls Iran's counter-proposal to end the war totally unacceptable.
Donald Trump describes Iran's counter-proposal to a US plan to end the war as totally unacceptable.
President Trump is rejecting Iran's latest response to a US peace proposal, saying, "I don't like it," and calling it totally unacceptable. In response, Iran's IRGC-affiliated Tasnim news agency, quoting officials and commentators, said no one in Iran drafts plans to please Trump. Washington had been waiting for Iran's response for several days, though there's still no official detail on what the US plan contained. Iran's president did not directly reference the proposal, but posted on social media earlier, "We will never bow our heads before the enemy, and if talk of dialogue or negotiation arises, it does not mean surrender or defeat."
President Trump says the ceasefire between Iran and the US is on life support. President Trump says the ceasefire with Iran is on life support, and he was still aiming for complete victory in the war. Speaking to reporters at the White House, Donald Trump described Iran's response to a US peace offer as a stupid proposal.
It's unbelievably weak, I would say. I would call it the weakest right now. After reading that piece of garbage they sent us, I didn't even finish reading it. They said, I'm not going to waste my time reading it. I would say it's one of the weakest right now. It's on life support.
Our North America editor, Sarah Smith, is in Washington and joins us now. And Sarah, the president's saying he is in no rush to do a deal. Meanwhile, oil prices rise again.
Yes, they do. And polls are also showing that this war is deeply unpopular with the American people, almost 2/3 of them saying they think it increases the chance of an economic recession. And that is partly why you have Donald Trump saying that the ceasefire is on life support, but he is not saying that it's over. There have been recent clashes in and around the Strait of Hormuz that he could easily use to declare that the truce had been broken and return to hostilities, but neither side, neither America nor Iran, seems keen to say that the ceasefire is over. We have had some very mixed messages from the Trump administration in the last few days, with senior officials saying explicitly that the war in Iran is completed, and then Donald Trump contradicting that in a TV interview, saying that Iran has been defeated but is not necessarily done yet. So why are they saying both things at the same time? Well, it appears that Donald Trump is not at all keen to resume a bombing campaign in Iran, not least because it is so unpopular with American voters. But at the same time, he doesn't want to say that hostilities are completely over, because that would seriously diminish his negotiating position if and when he ever does get into peace talks with Iran.
Now, inside Iran, the BBC has been able to speak with civilians struggling with the impact of the war. The Iranian authorities have imposed an internet ban, but using trusted sources, our special correspondent Fergal Keane has been hearing from those traumatized by conflict and government repression.
They on the streets today, the women of the Islamic Revolution. But in a country where the men still make all the rules. This demonstration, stage managed by the regime, to convince the world they're ready to fight, to tell their own people, don't even think about protesting. There's little chance of it. The population is wounded in spirit and mind. Huddled over a stove, musician Ali Reza cannot come to terms with the things he's seen in the last few months. Looters fighting next to the bodies of bomb victims.
The situation was completely out of control. The police had come to take the bodies of those killed in the barracks to the hospital, but they couldn't control these looters. At the same time, I saw many corpses, some with the lower half of their bodies severed. People were collecting them in blankets to take them to the hospital. If the situation continues like this for another 6 months, Many might commit suicide because they can't endure it. Living in Iran is truly difficult.
Families of all political persuasions are mourning their dead and missing. Airstrikes have put added strain on the under-resourced health system, unable to cope with the wave of trauma. As a medic explained,
as soon as you ask, "How are you feeling?" the patient starts crying. And we have one psychologist who only comes 1 day a week because they haven't signed a contract with him. Only 1 day a week for a population of 26,000 people. They say there will be an agreement, but it feels like the fire of war in this country never goes out. I am completely hopeless. Now I can say with certainty, hope will not come back.
For former political prisoners like Shirin, these are days of relentless fear. War, the death of friends, the possibility of torture. When they've come for you once already, the fear never goes away.
Whenever I hear a disturbing sound, my body reacts involuntarily. The psychological pressure that entered my mind has numbed part of my left hand. It doesn't work. I still have anxiety that the war might start again, and that is a terrifying thing.
More than 50,000 people have been arrested, and last month saw a record number of executions. For Shirin, despair.
Things have happened that we couldn't do anything about. The detainees were hanged. We've now lost the streets.
Whoever controls the streets controls the country. And for their enemies, they've made Iran into a claustrophobic hell. Fergal Keane, BBC News.